Hi everyone, it's Imogen and welcome back to Colouring Kid. In today's video I'm going to be doing a colour and chat from Fragile World by Kirby Rosannes. I feel like I haven't done a colour and chat for a long time, and this is actually quite a special colour and chat, as you will see later on in the video, but for now I wanted to just share with you the page I'm working on, the supplies I'm using, that sort of thing. So yeah, as I said, I'm working in Fragile World by Kirby Rosannes. This is the first page that I'm doing in this book. And it's a buddy colour with the lovely Effie from Effie Colours. So I'm working on this polar bear page. So for any of you that don't know, polar bears are my favourite animal, and I just had to colour this page first, and we both wanted to work in the book, so we decided to do this one. It's not showing up very well on camera, but I have actually coloured most of the polar bear iceberg, all of this bit, and I have coloured everything up here as well. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. It kind of looks like I haven't coloured it, but I have. So yes, I'm using Prismacolors, and I think I'm just going to stick with doing Prismacolors. I may use a base of pastel for the background of the sea and then go over with pencil, because it is a bit of a larger area and it doesn't have as much shading as everything else, but for the rest of it I'm using Prismacolors and then Arteza white gel pen. So I'll explain about those in a minute. I did want to just say thank you so much to those of you that gave me advice on how to fix my polar bear's fur. I am definitely a lot more happy with it now. Again, you can't tell because of the lighting, but I did go in with more blues and different colours as you suggested, so I really do appreciate your help. I think this community is absolutely fantastic, and you know, we all help each other, which is really lovely. So yeah, I really appreciate your help there. So what I'm planning on doing for the rest of this is doing more of a brighter blue for the sea, which is why I've added more blue to the polar bear and the iceberg to kind of show that it's underwater a bit. I did use Zest It Blend for the background, which is why it's a bit smoother than what it usually would be, and yeah, I'm happy with how it's turning out. On the bubbles, I think I'm going to use my glitter paint, the new Fine Tech Clear paint that I got, and then outline them in clear clear Jelly Roll Glaze, that's it, by Sakura, just to define them a bit more, but we'll see. I need to add the eyes in to the polar bear as well. But to get to the supplies that I'm using, the gel pen that I'm sticking with is the Arteza 0.6. Now I do have the set of 3, but my 1mm is getting quite short there, so I do need to get these again when they're back in stock. But I thought I would use the 0.6 purely because I hadn't used it as much as the others, and also I thought that the thin lines would work quite well because I don't want them that thick anyway. I want it to kind of look quite thin to go along with the line art, so that's what I've done. So I colour all of it first and then I go over with small strokes of the white gel pen, and I'm by no means very good at fur yet. I'm not really going for a fur look anyway on the polar bear here because it's more of an iceberg anyway, but the colours I've mainly been using are quite a few blues because, as I said, I want it more blue because it's underwater. So I go in with a base of sky blue from the Polychromos. These aren't going to show up very well, I don't think. And then I go in with Periwinkle, which is the darkest blue. Cloud Blue to Burnish. This is in a an extender, sorry, I can't speak today. And then Non-Photo Blue is the bright blue that I'm using to get definition, to kind of make it a bit brighter, which is what I didn't do for the polar bears because I want this to look different. And then I've got a few greys to add some shadow. I don't necessarily use both of them all of the time. And also the % cool grey. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, the 20% cool grey, because this is really good for blending as well. And then I've got a few highlight colours. Some of you suggested adding yellow and pink and that sort of thing. So I did go back in and add pink with the blush pink from Prismacolor and the Deco pink, but I don't have it with me at the moment, and also cream from Prismacolor. So they are the pencils that I'm mainly using. As always, I've got a rubber and stuff, and the sharpener that I've been liking really recently is this Faber-Castell sharpener that I got in America, and I hadn't really used it, and the blade is fantastic. And you get two different sharpeners, so this is one for bigger pencils and then smaller pencils, and actually the one that sharpens smaller pencils has been giving a really nice point, so I've been using it quite a lot. I'm really liking it because I do need to get another cigar sharpener. So yes, I really hope you enjoy watching. Now on to the rest of the video. Hi everyone, so I wanted to do a bit of a different colour and chat today. This is me doing a voiceover. I was thinking about the fact that I am colouring a picture of a polar bear, and polar bears are my favourite animal, so I wanted to make this quite a special sort of video by reading an extract from one of the books inspired by David Attenborough's TV series. So this book specifically is The Seven Worlds, One Planet, and within this, lots of the people that went to film all of the things on those series do accounts of what they found there. It's basically a written form of the series, kind of. So I found an extract that talks about polar bears quite a bit, and I thought it was really interesting and would be great to tie in with the picture. And that's the thing that I really like about Fragile Worlds as well, is that you get information about each of the animals, which is what inspired me to do this. So I hope you enjoy. It will kind of be like an audiobook, I guess. So let's get started. So this is a behind the scenes of an extract called "It's No Picnic at Hanging Rock." Hudson Bay is a treacherous place to be at the best of times. For much of the year it is covered by ice, but during the few ice-free months of summer, the huge tidal range sees powerful currents that, faced with fierce oncoming winds, drive up steep and violent standing waves and generate swirling whirlpools that can sink a small boat in seconds. The bay itself is enormous, about 3 times the size of the British Isles, and on its western shore, about 45 kilometres north of Churchill, the self-proclaimed polar bear capital of the world, is the mouth of the Seal River. It is a magnet for belugas or white whales, over 3,000 of them. They come here to slough off their old skin by rubbing against the shingle on the riverbed. It is also the place where mothers bring their calves and even give birth, for the river water is several degrees warmer than in the rest of the bay, the perfect beluga nursery. To film them underwater though, producer Chadden's Hunter's team need a bit of ingenuity, as cameraman Bertie Gregory found out. The belugas were wary of a stationary boat and they kept their distance, but they seemed to like the bubbles coming from the propeller, so I was pulled on a rope behind the boat. The belugas loved it. They would swim alongside me and even bumped the camera with their melons. They also became more curious if you sang, so there I was being dragged around Hudson Bay in icy Arctic water while singing the theme tune to Jurassic Park. The beluga nursery, however, is not entirely perfect. Those famous polar bears are here too, and they seem smarter than the average bear. The bay is scoured by one of the largest tidal regimes in the world. When the tide is out, it really is out. An enormous strip of mud, sandbanks and shallow waters extends 10 kilometres from the shore, so on its return the incoming tide is moving at the speed of horses. The whales ride in with the tide, but the polar bears know this too. They have a number of rocks at key vantage points on which they simply sit and wait, sometimes for hours on end. Showing extraordinary patience, a bear will wait for the moment a whale swims just close enough, and then with all its strength leaps right on top of the beluga, an incredible sight. It was a scenario that became immediately clear to wildlife cameraman John Shear the moment the team overflew the location. Hudson Bay is relatively shallow and its bottom gradually descends. This means that immense boulders can be over a mile from shore at high tide and still have their tops above the water. Rarely do you quickly figure out the mechanics of what exactly is going on when you're trying to film animals hunting, but on the shoot all it took was flying over the shore for a few minutes to piece it together. It was immediately clear that at high tide the tops of those giant boulders, standing in 2 to 3 metres of water, provided the polar bears with the perfect platform for ambushing their prey. Having caught a whale, the bears will bite and wrestle it into shallow water, no mean feat considering belugas are twice the weight of the bears. Here the whale's flesh is pulled away in neat forensic strips, a meal that is often shared with several less successful hunters. John thought it was unusual behaviour for the normally solitary polar bear. I was really amazed to see how many bears showed up every time a carcass was brought ashore. At first I thought it was a few large dominant male bears. This was an easy hunting opportunity for them, but younger bears and mother bears with small cubs would come running out of the bushes and down the beach every time a successful hunt occurred. I realised that while only a few bears may be doing the hunting, a whole community of bears was spending their summer on this stretch of shoreline, drawn here by the reliable source of calories. It was all of this extraordinary behaviour that the production team was here to film, but it wasn't easy sailing. They were filming with drones in an extremely large camera rig from a small boat, so they were open to the vagaries of the weather and the dangers of working with North America's largest terrestrial predator. Chadden describes it as an energising place to work. Normally you try to be invisible, just observing your subject, but these bears just sort you out, especially the young males, and they come right up to you, but they are nothing compared to the weather and sea conditions. There is zero backup. No lifeboats, no rescue craft. The tides are fast and violent, so it's difficult to tell where you are, and to top it all, thunderstorms sweep in, the lightning striking the water all around you. You feel extremely vulnerable in an aluminium boat with a huge metal camera boom sticking up, the tallest thing for miles around. Fortunately, our captain was very cautious, but even he wasn't prepared for what happened. A young male bear swam over to us and checked us out. Are they edible? He seemed to be thinking. But this one did the strangest thing. He grabbed the anchor line, lifted the anchor, and was pulling the boat like a fisherman reeling in its catch. Unfortunately, he caused the boat to drift onto a rock, just the sort of place that polar bears like to ambush belugas. We were really in trouble. It was serious enough being stranded, but as the tide went out, we were in danger of the entire boat tipping over. There was nothing else for it. The bear had had its fun and had moved away, although it was still nearby. So John stripped off and got into the water, where he was able to gently lever the boat free from its rocky pinnacle before the tide dropped completely. All the while we watched his back for hungry bears. With me under the bow pushing, and with our skipper pulling on the stern, recalls John, we finally slid off the rock and were free again, and just in time, as we barely had enough water left to weave our way through the rapidly emerging boulders to deeper water. The funny part is the polar bear that had been playing with our anchor was still around the whole time. It was only after I climbed back aboard that it dawned on me. I had gone swimming with a bear. Although the bears had taken an immediate interest in humans, they were a little slower at catching belugas. From the drone, Bertie could see that young bears would jump too soon or too late and miss the catch, while the more mature individuals would wait for hours before making a move. We spent many days just watching bears perched on rocks, with belugas swimming agonisingly close to them. I remember one time looking down the viewfinder and seeing whales surfacing to breathe right in front of the bear, and I was shouting jump. Eventually he did, but it was very sad to see such a magnificent animal being killed. To see the planning, patience and intelligence of the polar bear, followed by the power needed to kill and drag an animal far heavier than itself, was quite something. It was also intriguing behaviour, and John was convinced that many of the bears are getting more calories in summer than they are at any other time of the year. Some of the bigger bears' bellies nearly drag on the ground and their whole body jiggles with fat, so these bears may actually be at their fattest in August, something unheard of for polar bears. The meat and blubber the bears are getting from the whales is helping these bears keep weight on throughout the summer. As our warming climate makes the Arctic warmer and more ice-free, polar bears are facing a future of increasingly shorter seal hunting seasons, which for them isn't much of a future at all. But at Seal River, and at other places like it, we see perhaps a bit of hope for some small populations of bears that are intelligent enough to have figured out how to use the landscape to access the food they need to survive. Hi everyone, so it's the next day and I thought that I would add a bit to the colour and chat and show you where I'm up to with this page. It's really nice in this video actually because you'll see quite a bit of progression with the page. So I have currently got to this stage. So again, because of the camera quality, you might not be able to see, but I have finished the polar bear and now I am starting on the water. So with this so far, I've put a layer of pastel, and then I went over with a bit of pencil and then more pastel to kind of create ripples in the water, and it's not coming up as dark as it is in real life. It's really strange with the lighting, sorry about that, but it's a bit brighter in person. So I'm just going to carry on with this. I think I'm going to add a bit more shadow around the actual polar bear, and yeah, see where it goes. So this will probably just be a fairly short clip to just add to this video, because I don't want it to be hideously long, but I thought it would be nice to just come on and do a bit of extra kind of real-time talking aside from the extract from the book that I was reading. So I hope you enjoyed that. It was really fun, and I enjoyed learning a bit more about the polar bears and, you know, how they behave, and that's what I think is always really interesting about those books, and especially because it's given me an excuse to kind of delve into those again because of this book and wanting to find out a bit more about the polar bear. So yeah, it was really fun. I hope you're all doing well. It's Sunday the 7th of March and school's going back tomorrow. For us, we're having our lateral flow tests tomorrow, and then actually properly going into school on Tuesday. Well, I am on Tuesday. And then because of the size of our school, each year is coming back a day later after each other. So my brother Tom, I think, is going back on Thursday. So he's got a bit more home learning than I do, which I don't think he minds. So yeah, that would be really interesting. It would be good to get back into a normal routine. But for people, you know, I totally understand if, you know, people are a bit wary of going back, because we're in such strange times at the moment, especially here in the UK, and this is the first proper step for us coming out of lockdown. So it's definitely going to be very unusual, to say the least. I think when I go back to school, I'll only have about 3 weeks, and then it's the Easter holidays, and leading up to the Easter holidays I do have some exams, so I'm not sure how many videos I'll be able to get up for you and how many pages I'll necessarily be able to complete. However, I do have an update for you. Well, it's not actually an update because I haven't really talked about it before, but the internet where we are has never been the best, and we did have someone come round to have a look at it, and they have actually, just by switching a few cables around, they've managed to double our internet speed, which is absolutely fantastic, because it means for my uploading now it takes pretty much a quarter of the time it used to. So that's amazing. So what I'm going to try and do is be a bit more organised with my uploading, and then hopefully what I'll be able to do is get more videos out to you, because they don't take as long to upload, because that for me is what has stopped me being able to constantly upload, because it really does disrupt the internet, so I can't upload as frequently as I would necessarily like to. But now hopefully I'll be able to, so I'll see if I can schedule them and get more into a routine, which will be really good. So I'm looking forward to that. I have quite a few videos I need to do, so hopefully now, because of this, I'll be able to. Let me think, what do I want to use? I think we'll go in with this one. So yeah, that will be really good, because the actual filming of the videos isn't what takes me a long time. It's just the whole editing process, and actually the editing leading up to the uploading doesn't take long, and that doesn't disrupt the internet. So yeah, it'll be good if I can get that all sorted, because there are so many videos that I do want to do, but I think lots of revision and stuff this month is definitely going to slow me down in terms of colouring, so I don't imagine I'll get too much done, but we'll have to see. the Easter holidays for us start at the very end of March, and then I think are 2 weeks into April. So because of where Easter falls this year, we're going back mid-April, which is a bit later than we'd usually go back, because, you know, sometimes when Easter's been late March time, we've gone back a lot earlier. So I was thinking, because I won't have as much work to do over the holidays, you know, we'll obviously get a bit more of a break, it would be nice to maybe think of some more unusual video ideas to do. I do have a long list of ones that I need to get around to, but also I was thinking maybe vlogging one day. That could be fun. I haven't done one of those for a bit, but you'll have to see. Also, very exciting, I am almost at 3,000 subscribers, which is absolutely crazy. I can't believe it. And I did mention in my haul that has just gone up that I will be doing a giveaway, and one of the parts of the giveaway is going to be Fragile Worlds by Kirby Roseanne's. Now, what I've done for this giveaway, because it's 3k, it's a bit more than last time, so there will actually be 2 books, and then it kind of gives you a choice, because I know for some people they may already have the book that is chosen for a giveaway, so I wanted to make it a bit more open for you. So I'll give you more information about that when we reach that milestone. And I really appreciate all of you who have supported me so far. I'm just enjoying it so much, and I can hardly believe that I started 2 years ago now. It's gone so quickly, but I really do feel part of the community, and it's always lovely to see new people joining, seeing what their channels are like and watching their videos. And I'm sorry if I don't manage to comment on videos. I do watch, but I don't always have the time to comment. But I do try to always get back to comments on my videos, because I really do appreciate you taking the time out of your days to comment. And it means a lot, and especially if you have questions, I do try to answer them as best I can. But yeah, all of you who watch and comment and like, it really does mean the world. And I've always done this channel as, you know, just fun for me and something for me to do alongside my work, and also obviously tie in with colouring, and it's amazing. So I'm quite liking how this background's coming out. Of course you can't see it very well, but I think I'm pretty much done with it. I may go in and add a few extra lines and things with pencil, because it is a bit lighter around these edges, but apart from that I'm quite liking it. What I'm planning on doing is doing all of these waves in white gel pen, which I'm hoping will work. And then all of the bubbles, I think I already mentioned, are going to have the clear glitter Coliro paint, and then outline them in Jelly Roll Glaze, the clear one. And I do need to go in and rub out the pastel that did get over the seals, and then I will colour those. So yeah, not much left on this page. I'll probably add some pops of colour on these fish just to make them stand out a bit. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I'll leave it there, because I did just want to do a quick update, and as I said, not make the video too long for you. But thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. It was really fun piecing this video together and doing these, you know, these segments to it, and yeah, something a bit different from me. So it's really good to get back to doing a colour and chat though, because as I said, I haven't done one for a long time. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe and well. If you have children going back to school soon, I really hope that they have a good return. And yeah, I will see you all in my next video. Bye everyone.